All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 360 Sports Show, coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I am Andrew Pizzelli. He is Christian Lauber, and we are bringing you tonight, this evening, our holiday special. So a lot of Christmas and holiday-themed things throughout the show here tonight, but a lot to get to. You can reach us anytime in the comment section of any of the live streams. Colin, already in the comment section, Merry Christmas, the Celtics suck. Yes,
He's ready today.
We'll be getting into all of that. So,
Why are you so
um,
low today? I can't hear you.
I'm low. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see.
and usually that's not a problem for you.
How about now? Can you hear me
There
now?
you go.
There we go. That's
Much
better.
better.
Maybe I'm my Italian whispers. Maybe I'm tired today, so maybe my Italian whisper is just
That
not
could be
loud
it.
enough.
There you go.
So,
Wake
would
up.
you tell me should put you driving the sleigh, me carrying you as usual? Yes, a little bit of a Christmas-themed intro there. If you missed it, you'll have to go back and watch it. Maybe we'll play it again at the end, counting down to the end of the show. I don't know. So anyway, Christian, a whole slew of things to discuss. We will be drafting our top 5 Christmas movies later on in the program. I realized we hadn't decided we're going to snake the draft, so the first pick becomes critical. We hadn't done it yet, so live on air we will later. We will flip the coin to decide. I'll let you. This is my home, so I have the coin. So that means I'll let you be as the road team here. Get to call it when we get there. But
Oh, very nice of you.
let's start with the NFL. The reason we're doing the show on a Tuesday, NFL games are happening as we speak. The Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles are playing, as are the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks, I believe, their opponent this week. Correct, Amundo? Um, whoever
Uh,
it is, they're playing somebody. But yeah, Week 15 in the NFL still not done. So we decided to push today's show, or this week's show, to Tuesday. Your impressions from the weekend? I know we want to hit on the Patriots Colts from Saturday night. Week 15, Week 15's been going on for a while, Thursday through Tuesday. A whole bunch of games yesterday with lots of interesting storylines. The Ravens, just deciding. Somebody told them overtime's a thing, right? Where do you want to start with this week in the NFL?
Um, well, we could start a number of places, but I guess it's not really fresh anymore. I guess we'll wait on the Patriots. Let's wait because I got some thoughts on that.
All right, so we'll get into that. So let's discuss this Ravens thing. Yesterday they played the Packers. Obviously the Ravens, a banged up squad. No Lamar Jackson. They're down 14 points with like 7 something minutes to go, and they end up going down, getting a touchdown, getting a stop, getting the ball back, going down and scoring, and going for 2 to try and win it right there.
Again.
Again, instead of going to overtime, they don't get it on what was a far worse play. The one against the Steelers, like, the play was right there. It was just a bad throw by Lamar. Whatever. The play was there. This one last night, the play was not there. It was a horrible play. It didn't work, and you lose the game when you could have gone to overtime. You have the best kicker in the league. You could have gone to overtime and battled it out in overtime. The Ravens, I think, foreseeing that there would be all this backlash, released like their mic'd up thing already. Like hours after the game, they had the mic'd up already out. And Harbaugh is like, before the drive, going over to Huntley and saying, "Hey, when we score, do you want to go for 2? Or do you want to go to overtime?" And they're kind of like, Then they score, and they're saying, "Do we want to kick it to go to overtime? What do we want to do here? What do we want to do?" He's like asking the players, "What do you want? What do you guys want to do?" You're the coach. Like, of course they're gonna say like, what they probably say if they just say, "Oh, let's kick it." Is this a test? Does he want to see if we can compete? Or are we competitors? You're the coach. Decide. Let's go to overtime. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, on one hand, it's like there's elements where it doesn't really matter because versus the Steelers, you said, hey, you know what? We feel like we can't stop Big Ben because of all the injuries. Last night, you could say, hey, it's an NFC game. But this, like, trend of going for 2 when you don't have to, or, like, a game like that, it's like, get to overtime. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I laughed last week, and then I laughed harder this week because I just like this is such a horrible thing to do, and the fact that he's not getting like crushed for this is kind of weird to me. I I feel like it's kind of like a non-storyline, but the last 2 weeks, you've almost played yourself out of a playoff race here.
Yeah.
You've lost these two games when you theoretically could win them in overtime against two other teams that are not great, but also in the playoff picture. And here you are. Now you're 0-2 because you stupid decision. But I guess you can do no wrong. I don't know. It makes no sense to me.
Well, it's like the whole the players wanted it, and like Mark Andrews after the game was like, "Yeah, it was the right decision. It was the right decision." It's like, I don't know. There, like I said, there's a time and a place. Against certain opponents, right? Certain points in time, you can go back and say, hey, we're playing Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. We've been down. We made a comeback. You know what? Let's just go for the jugular. We don't want to let him get a chance to come back out on the field and win a game in overtime. Fine. Understandable. If you don't get it, it sucks, but you understand those. I mean, you were down 14 with 7 minutes to go. Your defense was getting a stop. You tie the game and could go to overtime. Instead, you and I understand if you had a suspect kicker, and it's just like, oh gosh, or if kickers had a bad game. We've seen that. Hey, kickers had a bad game. Listen, we almost feel compelled to go for 2 here because we don't want to put it in the hands of that guy. It's Justin Tucker.
Yeah,
I don't get it. And you're right. I mean, yes, it's an NFC loss, but now it's another loss. It's like you've basically you've given away 2 games here. And that's going to matter in this AFC because it is so crowded in there. I don't get it. I don't understand. Not that I'm necessarily sad for it. It just baffles me. And as you're right, I'm surprised there's not more. I went and checked out Baltimore Sun and Chronicle. I wanted to go see hey, what are people saying? And nope, they're not really all that upset. They all understand. They get it. It's like, I don't know why, but
losses are good now.
I guess
you got balls to do it.
Yeah. Usually once a year you see a coach do that. There's some coach somewhere, and it's usually on a bad team that's having a bad year. Like the Titans when they did it, I think it was Vrabel's first year, and it was against the Chargers, and it was kind of like they're trying to change the culture. Hey, we're winners here. We're going to be aggressive. And they weren't having a winning season. So it's like, why not? Go for 2. Let's instill some confidence. Not when you're in the midst of a playoff chase.
Yeah. Especially you're jam-packed in the AFC there. Every win, loss will matter here coming up, I guarantee you.
Yeah. Nick in the comment section, Lions with the upset of the century.
Yes, sirree. Yep.
I will freely admit. So I picked the Lions because of our whole little the game within the game. You had me. I decided. You said if the Jaguars beat the Bills, I would have to pick the Lions versus the Cardinals. So I said, you know what? In that spirit, I'll just pick the Jags anyways. Jags win that game. We flash forward to now, and so I have to pick the Lions. And
I got something going here. I need to keep this up.
I mean, you'll have to find another game this week.
Yeah.
To just try and I mean, you talk about the power of my words or the power and the opposite of my words. You found something, Christian. You have to find a way now to use this to your advantage. But I'll be honest. I did not expect the Lions to win. I'm thrilled. I'm ecstatic that they won because it was
not only
win,
they
dominated.
Yeah.
I mean, what does this say? What does this say about the NFC? Look at what happened with the Cardinals and the Bucks yesterday. Over the weekend. The Cardinals get dismantled by the Lions, who are a joke. And then the Bucks, I guess, Tom Brady just can't play against the Saints anymore.
In the regular season.
In the regular season.
They'll beat them, but in the regular season, nope, no good.
But I mean, 9-0, ugh. I know
he shut out in 15 years.
And I know his receiving core, was totally depleted. But, I mean, we've seen Tom Brady go out there with, a plumber and a used car salesman and at least be able to put up 9 points. So, what does it say? I mean, is this just indicative of the league this year? It just seems that anybody really could beat anybody in a certain situation and no one's safe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'd expect the Bucks to just, hey, hit the home stretch. They're going to roll over everybody. And then they throw up they've kind of thrown up some kind of clunkers. I mean, they almost blew a game to the Bills, and then you get shut out by the Saints, who don't have a quarterback.
Well, it wasn't about the quarterback, right? You don't need a quarterback to put up 9 points barely.
No.
Give me a running back and a kicker, and you're good. But I mean, yeah, I look, in terms of Brady and the Saints, I mean, I think that's more a story about the Saints than anything. Like, for whatever reason, they just play well against the Bucs. I mean, at least in the regular season, they lost the one playoff game, but in the regular season, they get after Brady. For some reason, the Bucs can't block them. I mean, Cameron Jordan's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like, he's unblockable. But they scheme it up or something, and they confuse him and get him kind of reeling. So that one was, I feel like, less obvious based on what we've seen in the past here. Like, 4 games? What is he, 0-3 or 4 against the Saints in the regular season since becoming a Buck, I think.
Yeah, I think he's lost all 4 regular season matchups.
Yeah, so that tells you something. Yeah, and maybe it's a Sean Payton factor. I know he wasn't. I think he was on the COVID list for this game, but still, he's a good coach, and he can scheme it up. He knows Brady well. They've both been in the league 27 million years now, it feels like. But in terms of the Lions, that goes along with my hot this week because I think Dan Campbell's got something over there.
Oh, yeah, Dan Campbell's got it rolling.
Hey.
Yeah, that Campbell soup is boiling.
He's got it going.
Yeah. He will be fired. What date is the season end?
He's not going to be fired.
You don't think they're going to... No, come on. He's a tank commander.
I think the players like him.
You think they keep him for another year?
Yeah,
I'd be stunned.
Why?
I'd be stunned because you're gonna win 2-3 games, and I don't know. You can't
and
say.
And then what? The next guy's gonna come in and win 1 to 2 games? Like,
yeah,
what?
You can't be the we're gonna bite off people's ankles and we're gonna compete, and then go out there and win 2 games. That message is gonna
They didn't bite off the ankle. They bite off the head of a cardinal. So
yeah, well, a cardinal's like this big. I mean, you or I could bite the head off a cardinal.
Yeah, I don't want to though.
Mike Tyson could.
This isn't the zombie apocalypse. I don't need to do that.
That could be part of a side bet. Comment section. What do you think? Dan Campbell, does he get year 2? Does he get year 2 in Detroit? I don't think so. I'd be surprised if he makes... I mean, I just think they probably look at it like, hey, we've hit a reset button, and we brought in our tank commander. Thank you for the number 1 overall pick. If anything, he may get fired for winning games down the stretch. So, let's see. Comment section right away. To be fair, the Lions have competed in almost every game.
Yeah, they play hard. They definitely do play hard. I mean, I'll say that. I mean, they're not a great team, obviously, but they also have Jared Goff. We know what he is, especially without Sean McVay. And, I mean, even with Matt Stafford, they weren't a great team. So I don't think it's like we should fire the coach already. I really think he gets here too. I do. I don't know.
We'll see. Nick says, I don't see why not. He's a good coach, and I think the players do like him. All right, we'll see. Again, this is the new standard in the NFL. What'd you say? Like, losing is in.
Yeah, I mean, look, everybody's gonna follow Harbaugh now. You just go for it any chance you get, and you'll be good.
Oh, I mean, hey,
Patriots and kick a field goal when you shouldn't.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get to them in just a second. The same thing. Look at the Chargers, right, versus the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football, which seems like eons ago. But going for it when you shouldn't, it's like take points early in a game, take a field goal, take the lead, add to your lead. Why?
There's a big difference though in what the Chargers did and what the Ravens did. The Ravens are going for it at the end of a game to win it, right, potentially, or lose it. But the Chargers are competing up and down the field. They're doing fine with the Chiefs, right? It's a competitive game, and instead of taking points in the second quarter, they're trying to score touchdowns, and they get 0 points instead of 9 or 12, whatever they could have gotten. It's just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, it's like it's Madden. It's Madden rules. No. Nope. Not punting. We don't punt. Who punts? Go for it. We're going to go for it all the time. Hey, we've had a great drive. We've possessed the ball for 7 minutes. No, let's get a touchdown. We want touchdowns. Okay. But, people say, oh, the math here, if you the percentage of winning if you get it versus if you just kick the field goal. It's like, okay, but what about the percentage of if you go for it and don't get it versus missing the field goal? The odds of you missing the field goal are lower. I don't know.
I mean, it's not like it's raining through the one hole in the stadium and you can't see anything. It's literally inside. Kick the field goal. Take the points.
Yeah, bizarre. I don't know.
Stupid.
Yeah, too much. It's like, is it overthinking or is it not enough thinking?
I don't know. You can make an argument for either.
It's both. So anyway, let's get to this Patriots game. Saturday night game in Indianapolis. Big game for the Colts. I was honestly kind of happy at the beginning when the Patriots fell behind 14-0. I said, here we go. This is the test we've been waiting for. They've kind of been front running here. Let's see what they do under pressure now. Mac Jones, you're going to have to throw the ball. Can you play from behind? How will they fare? Unfortunately, the rest of the first half got worse. You fall behind 20-0, and then that's just too much of a hole to climb out of, despite them making it close at the end. A missed tackle here or there, and maybe they get the ball back. Who knows if they would have tied or won the game. But on the night, most of them, you hear all the players say nothing went right, bad week of practice, just wasn't their night. The vibe I get is that if they play that team again, everybody's confident they could beat them. It was more about the Patriots than the Colts. Carson Wentz, you saw, he only completed 6 passes.
5.
So
they'll beat you.
I don't think they're necessarily afraid of that guy and that team. I think it's a good loss from the standpoint of they weren't going to run the table, and you already got that first Bills game in hand. And so if you needed a little bit of that humbling, like, hey, you guys feeling yourselves, can't just show up, that game was the game to have it. Makes this game this coming Sunday bigger,
It's a must-win this weekend.
Needing to win this week and bounce back. But I'm like bizarrely encouraged by the way I think that they competed in the second half. Mac Jones had his worst half of his career, I think, in that first half, and in that first series of the third quarter, the picks were awful. And then I think he bounced back. I think he thrives in the 2-minute. You see him get into a rhythm in the 2-minute drill. So when they went hurry up, I think he started to really dime it up. So I have confidence that if he's in that situation, I'm not like worried like, oh, well, there's no chance he can go down the field and get a score. I just think you can't dig yourself a 20-0 hole with a rookie quarterback. As good as he's been and is right now, you can't dig yourself that big of a hole and have that many collapses all over the place. So bizarrely, I'm somewhat encouraged.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely just positively shocked that you.
I'm somewhat encouraged, but this Sunday versus the Bills now is a must-win game, as you said.
Yeah, I am. I do not. I'm not in the same camp as you. I said all along.
Shocker.
Well, it wouldn't be fun if we just agreed. I would say this. I have kept the stance all year that I am more hesitant in the offense than the defense, and that is just true and true again. I mean, it's like without the block punt, the defense gave up what? The 67-yard run, that was more about the Patriots than Taylor, even though Taylor's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's MVP candidate. But that was more about Hightower and McCourty not plugging that hole, and even up front, Barmore got pushed back like 5 yards. So you got beat by a guy who stinks in Wentz, who threw the ball 5 times. Like the Bills, you threw against them 3 times, and they still beat you. And you kind of got blown away for the most part. You showed up for maybe a quarter and a half, I would say. But outside of that, not much to show for it other than 2 picks, so that's good. But my confidence is in the defense, and I think Bill Belichick.
You're right there.
Yeah, Belichick can scheme it up still. Bill. Bill Nye, the science guy. I wanted to say Bill Belichick, and I keep doing it. But I would say Belichick, I believe that he can still coach and scheme it up on defense, no matter the opponent. And that goes without saying this weekend against the Bills. So it's Bill versus the Bills.
It's a Bill weekend.
It's a lot of Bill going on right now. But in all seriousness, yeah, I think the Patriots are fine where they're at. I mean, the Colts don't I'm not overly impressed with the offense on the Colts. I think Taylor is obviously a great player, and then Darius Leonard on the defensive side. But their defense is fast. They're quick. They can play. It's just I don't see like the rookie quarterback is going to rookie quarterback. That's just how it is. I mean, the NFL is not an easy league to play in for a rookie. And here is going to be no different. Everything around Mac Jones has to be pretty much perfect for it to look really, really good. And it's just not always going to be like that. The O-line wasn't great. There looked like there was some communication issues, whether it was loud in there or not. But it's a hostile environment, and they didn't really show up on offense. Take out the block punt, they kind of gave away 17 points. He threw a pick in the red zone area. You have a block punt, and then another pick. It's just like you gave points away, and it's not like the Colts did anything astronomically different than any other team you faced. They're probably more talented than some of these other teams, and I will say this is probably the toughest environment because Buffalo, you did play there, but it was kind of like a messy game anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, the Patriots, like I said, I think it's just the offense is where I'm hesitant to believe in that. You just have not seen it, especially if they get behind or something crazy like a block punt touchdown happens and you're behind. Do they trust Mac Jones to put it in his hands and let him go? Kind of, because they had to, but it didn't look all that great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think 3 turnovers. That's the games they've lost. They turn the ball over, and they've been good during their streak. They were really good with the ball. Especially, you can't have in a game where you have special teams breakdowns. That's indicative of this whole what.
Just like the bill, I can't get the bill out of my head.
You can't get the bill out of your head. Well, you're like a lot of teams in the NFL. They got Bill on their minds.
That's true.
They can't get him out of their head. Colin says must win not only for playoff standing, but you lose absolutely any momentum you had left from your 7-game win streak if you lose against a pissed off Bills team at home. Hey, the Bills are going to be ready. They've been marking this one on their calendar for 3 weeks. So I think if you had beaten Indy, especially if they came back and won, like the way that game went, you come back, you win that game. Now these guys are really like, oh, look at us. We can fall behind 20-0 and come back and beat teams and teams. Look at how scared they get. Wentz, they should have just run the ball, and they're throwing it. We're picking them off like, ha, ha. And then, the Bills are sitting there frothing at the mouth to play you, and you get absolutely destroyed at home. I think there's going to be some focus this week. I think this is going to be one of those, really tough weeks of practice, and Bill's going to get them all. Bill is going to get them all dialed in. So it's going to be a tough test at home. Christian, though, listening to you, it sounds like the way you're saying, oh, they left points out here, and if they didn't turn the ball over, the defense, you sound veiled positive about the Patriots, though.
Yeah, I just think looking at the rest of the AFC, I think they're maybe one in the top 3 teams. It's just like everybody else kind of sucks. The Colts, I think, are talented, but they don't overly scare me because of the quarterback. I think Wentz he was terrible in this game, and I think he's been terrible most of the year.
Were you stunned that they were throwing it with him? As soon as they were seemed like they wanted to get aggressive and throw the ball, I was like, perfect. We're going to pick this guy off. They're going to make a play. You put the ball up. Somebody's going to make a play.
Those were the 2 surprises when they were kind of up in the game. They didn't need to. You have the best running back in the league, maybe the MVP of the league. And also the first drive of the game, they came out and didn't they throw 3 times and he was incomplete and 3 and out? It's like, What are we doing? Talk about overthinking. It worked in their favor because nothing happened for the Patriots side, but it's like, what the Patriots just march down the field and score, then you're like, okay, great. Now we have to throw with Carson Wentz even more.
Yeah. Well, it's like, these teams, sometimes they talk about, you said Bill on their minds. Think back to the Super Bowl versus the Falcons. If they just handed the ball off 3 times, even if they went 3 and out, you're taking at least 2 minutes off the clock, and you're punting the ball, keeping the clock moving with a 25-point lead. Instead, teams think, well, they know we're going to do that, so we're not going to get a first down. So we got to stick to our guns. We got to be aggressive. We have to throw. Holding penalty, 1st and 20. 2nd and 20, strip sack. Like it's what my dad likes to call it, Patriots Paranoia, and a lot of these teams still have it.
Yeah, it's back.
And so even though it's it's Mac Jones, it's a rookie quarterback, The Patriots win 7 games in a row, and all of a sudden these teams start thinking they're playing Tom Brady again. And they just see the Patriots logo, and they see Bill Belichick on the other side, Bill on the other side, and they start outthinking themselves instead of just saying, "Oh, yeah, we have like an MVP running back. Let's just lean on that, shall we?" So yeah, I mean, we'll get into picks later to discuss the matchups.
I think I know who you're picking
from the weekend. I wanted to turn our attention, though, to something which, again, the reason we're doing this show here on a Tuesday, there's NFL games happening right now, actually. Let's check in on the scores of those. Because the Rams, late first quarter, up 3-0 on the Seahawks, and the Washington football team up 7-0 on the Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll keep you up to date with the scores of those. But the reason for all this is Omicron. COVID just starting to ravage all of the leagues. I mean, last Monday we saw it, just this giant spike in positive cases throughout the league. A lot of leagues. The NBA has postponed games. The NHL has postponed games. We've got Tuesday football happening right now because of this. And in the news today, Christian, that the NHL will not be sending players to Beijing for the Winter Olympics. Is this just more of a sign of things to come as we get into... Today's the solstice. It is the shortest day of the year. The days will be getting longer by bit after today, but the cold weather really going to drive a lot of this. And is this just a sign of more things to come? Are we going to see any sort of pause, shutdown? Is more of this stuff going to happen if they have to keep shuffling games around like this, and if cases get worse and worse throughout these leagues?
Potentially, I guess. I think you'll see more of a break than a shutdown like we saw. What is it even? I don't even know anymore. 1 year ago, 2 years ago now. I don't think you'll see anything that drastic where you're shut down for 6 months to figure everything out. We don't know how it spreads. They have a good, feeling on everything. A lot of the players, I'll tell you what, they have to figure out, I think, maybe not better, but different protocols for players that are asymptomatic, and maybe they do something there. I don't know exactly what they want to do, but I feel like the players union and the leagues are going to have to come together and figure something out there where they're not testing as much, or I don't know exactly what they're going to do. But if you're vaccinated and you're asymptomatic, can you play sooner? I really don't think you'll see a big shutdown. As a matter of fact, Adam Silver, at least, who kind of he led the way last time around, said he's not going to shut down. So they're going to kind of motor through, and I think that's kind of the way you handle it at this point. I mean, it's just like cases are going to pop up. Players that are vaccinated will come back sooner out of the 10 days, test negative, whatever it has, and then, the unvaccinated will have to 10 days, 14 days, whatever they have to do. And you just kind of roll with it. I mean, we see it's not like it's a huge disadvantage for every team because almost every team has cases at this point. Yeah. The Chiefs just had a few more. It's in every league. The NHL shut down or suspended, I guess, but it's also they did it 2 days before their real Christmas, break, whatever it is, 4 extra days. So you might see like some intermittent breaks like that, but I don't think you'll see any big shutdown at this point.
Yeah. I would agree. I mean, I think the NHL, we heard the reports over a week ago. Bruins practice because they had all the cases. They basically they left a practice and were like, "See you guys next year."
Yeah.
These teams kind of knew that there was when I said break, I meant some sort of pause. Hey, we're taking 2 weeks off type of deal.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what happens with more of the Olympic stuff now. I think everybody was anticipating a whole big Olympics. We pushed Tokyo and then no fans and all that. What will that look like in Beijing? Will by time late January, early February rolls around, will they have fans? Will more teams, leagues, countries decide to pull back? I don't know. We've already got diplomatic boycotts over non-COVID things. Well, it'll be interesting to follow how COVID impacts the games as well. we are going to talk NBA after we do hot and not, but I did just want to hit. I mean, we brought it up last week, and we got our answer. You talked about different protocols for vaccinated versus vaccinated players. Well, none other than Kyrie Irving.
All 2 seconds of him.
The Nets decided, I think because, I mean, I don't know. Do you think the Nets are being a little hypocritical here? You know, they said we're not going to have part-time players. Until Kyrie can be a full-time player, he's just going to have to sit at home. Now, that meant they're paying him because the team is opting not to take him on road games when he's available. So that man was getting paid for his non-participatory road games. Still not vaccinated, does not intend to, but the team says, you know what, Kyrie, come on back. I know you can't practice with us, can't play at home, but we'll take you on the road. He immediately went into COVID protocol. That didn't take long. What do you think of Kyrie's decision to rejoin the Nets and the Nets' decision to bring him back? Is this a bad look on the Nets to turn around now and say and welcome him back into the fold when they were very strong against having him at the beginning of the year?
I don't know what the right decision is anymore, but I'll say this: it's strange that all of a sudden now that players are dropping like flies, you bring back the unvaccinated guy who literally stepped off the bus and into protocol. So it's like I don't know how this was going to solve your immediate problem because in 2 days he might have tested. He's probably hanging around Durant and those guys anyway, his teammates, which makes sense. I mean, he's still part of the team technically. And they're all in protocol. So I don't know how that was going to resolve their short-term problem and also their long-term. It was kind of a weird decision for me because they said, no, we're not going to have part-time guys. A couple guys go into protocols, and then here comes Kyrie right into protocols. So it's just like, I don't know what the Nets are doing. Is this going to be a long-term thing that he's back for the rest of the season, and this is what it is? I guess. I don't know what the right answer is here anymore, and I am just as confused as the Nets, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised at it because, like you said, how does it help you in the short term? I mean, he's not going to be able to play home games. He potentially could just be a constant vector point for your team. Colin in the comment section. Kyrie went on protocol immediately because he has permanent COVID-19. COVID infinity.
I mean, yeah.
And the thing is, like, great. I mean, we know what he is as a talent, what Kyrie is as a basketball player, and what he can do and what he can offer a team, which is tremendous. But what are you going to do if, like, you're in Game 7 of the finals and he can't play? Like, how do you serve your team by having a guy that you're going to rely on and can't be there for home games through the playoffs?
Well, just because he's unvaccinated, just because everybody else is vaccinated, doesn't mean they can't spread it and everything. Don't you know that?
It has nothing to do with that. It's about what New York decided. Regardless of what Nets players or management might believe about the rule's the rule. And you're going to have to live with it. And if you're the Nets, why would you want to... I love their take at the beginning. Listen, no part-time players. And it made sense. Why are you going to have a guy that can't practice with the team, come on road games, and you're going to have this helter-skelter chemistry and rotations, and how does anybody kind of really get into their role? And
it just doesn't help the team.
Exactly.
Here's an example for you. It's pretty similar in the NFL, right? Cole Beasley today, he's unvaccinated, and that's fine by him. I don't care. And if his teammates don't care, that's fine. It's his decision. But now he is in protocol, COVID-19 protocol for the Bills
again,
and he's guaranteed to not play Sunday now. Whereas if he was vaccinated, there was potential that he might. So you kind of put your team in a position where eventually, most likely, you'll get it. You're around other people a lot, and then you're gonna not be playing the biggest game of the year. So it's just like, I know a lot of people, I can't do the whole Twitter thing. I just can't do it because it is what it is. But it's like, there is something to be said for the greater good, especially if you're a professional athlete and your team is trying to win games and become a champion and do your job and everything like that. So it's just another example, and it is everywhere. And good on Beasley for not being one of these guys that faked his card and he
Oh yeah,
told him he was
that's way worse.
immunized and all that stuff. Like, he just came out and said he's not doing it. So it is what it is. But now you put your team in a position where they're not going to have you in the biggest game of the year. So I guess you just take that as your role, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. And the thing is here, I mean, we'll see how fast this new variant like burns through, because you see the cases just going nuts. Now, most of them are mild. People who are vaccinated, it's asymptomatic, but obviously it's a concern amongst populations who aren't vaccinated. Again, the whole thing about overwhelming the healthcare system, which is already taxed enough as it is, during a cold and flu season especially. Playoff time is going to be right in the midst of this, and so you'd hate to see, like you said, if you're any player who's not vaccinated, whatever their reason is, that decision costing him the chance to participate in a playoff game. Because they're not going to say, oh, hey, Cole Beasley, tested positive, let's find a way to push. No, they're not going to move a game. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And even if, it'll be interesting to see what happens if there's a massive outbreak on a team and it somebody, even vaccinated guys like Josh Allen, test positive on a Thursday, and there's just not enough time. The window isn't there to be able to test out even as a vaccinated player and get to the game. Do they move the game? Are they going to make the Bills play with Mitch Trubisky? Like, it's going to be crazy to see what happens. I mean, the sports is as normal as a lot of things have been. COVID is not done with the world of sports. Not yet. Not even close.
It's not done with. I mean, look, there's going to be no world here anytime soon that there's going to be this COVID zero where there's no cases anywhere. It's just not going to happen. So you have to manage it, and I think they're doing that now. I mean, it's just like you kind of play through it. They know how to deal with it in certain spots. It's not like the unknown a year ago that everybody had. So they know how to deal with it. The vaccinations, therapies, whatever. But they get players in and out. And a lot of the players that are vaccinated, just from like seeing the Bruins standpoint, they get a bunch of guys over a series of 5 or 6 days that went into protocols. And Bruce Cassidy said they're mostly mild and they could be back by the 26th.
Yep.
So it's kind of a situation where it's turning into, at least for vaccinated individuals like these guys that are in unbelievable shape, it's like, okay, it's a mild case. You get through it, you come back, and you just have to work through it, kind of like similar to, we've seen guys go down with illnesses in a locker room, like a flu, whatever it is, for a series of games. And you're just going to miss games. That is what it is. You just have to work through it.
Yep. All right, so we are going to do our hot and not segment. Things that we liked, things that were good, things that were awesome from the past week, and also things that were the complete opposite: bad things, negative things, or embarrassing things, stories, anything. So Christian, I will start with my hot, which is I want to pull up the picture of this. This is, share screen, not ad source. Where are we going here? This is a great one. And I want to know where these people get their luck from. So this here, make sure we're showing it on the screen. There you go. This here is John Musenberger. He is from Wisconsin. Him and his wife won a raffle. They won through the Wisconsin lottery. They won tickets to the Packers game. They go to the Packers game. He purchases a scratch ticket at the game. I don't know how that happens. I didn't know you could buy scratch tickets at football games, evidently.
It is Green Bay.
It is Green Bay. I think they were on their way home from they were on their way home from the game. So they won a lottery and went to the game. They're on their way home. They decide, you know what? Let's stop off and get another lottery ticket. Why not? They won $30K. This guy, John Musenberger, and his wife won tickets to the game, and then on the way back from the game, got a $30,000 winning ticket. I mean, if I was him, tomorrow, I would go back to that same, Quick Mart, whatever you went to, and buy a whole slew of tickets. I want this guy's luck.
Oh yeah, no, I would go out and buy about 10 millionaire tickets from that same exact place. 100%.
Like, that is unbelievable. I mean, just to win the tickets to the game, and through a lottery, and then you get a $30,000 winner.
And the same night that you go to the game.
Same night that you go to the game. Unreal. So that went right to the top of my hot list this week. Cool story, and obviously a little feel good there. And I want that man's luck. So, who's on the hot list for you?
I'll be honest, I didn't really prepare for this week. I don't know why. I was just unprepared.
Well, I know who's on my not list.
I always know who's on my not list. I could come up with a million of those. With the hot list, so I'm going to go with, I kind of alluded to this, but I'm going Dan Campbell. I think he's just like, he's become like this weird, cool story this year. I mean, he's kind of still a tool, right? I mean, but he's had, from his tears after a game to his pre-game or preseason speeches about biting off ankles to dedicating the ball to the school that had the shooting, obviously, that tragedy, and then beating the Cardinals, and he's in the locker room yelling again. It's just like the Dan Campbell story. It's become a whole experience this year.
Okay, so you're picking the Lions this week?
No.
You should.
Come back to me on that one.
All right, Christian. Well, you are my not list then. You're on the not list. Not preparing for the show. Embarrassing. No, actually, I mean, we already touched on it, but Kyrie Irving and the Nets. Not Kyrie himself, because Kyrie is Kyrie. The Nets. I put them on the not list for bringing Kyrie back and breaking under pressure, I guess, if it were, because I don't see how it's helped them and will help them in the long run. So the Nets got put on the not list this week. Christian, you're at not.
I didn't really prepare for this week, so
you put yourself on the not list.
I'm putting myself there, and I'm going to stay there. No, I'm going to go with just taking an easy one. I'm going to go with the Patriots. They pissed me off this week. Enough said.
More than the Celtics? Losing a
winnable game. Well, the Celtics. If I put the Celtics on the not list,
Nick has a good one. How about Urban Meyer? We could talk about that.
Good one. Yeah. He sucks too.
The midnight firing of Urban Meyer.
Yeah, nice, right? Little East Coast midnight. I mean, hey, to be fair, they did it at 9 p.m. Western time. So.
Pacific time.
Is that what did I just say? Western time? Jesus.
Western time. We're out here under Western time. You've been all over the place today, Bill.
I know. What I need is some sleep.
Maybe a glass of water. I don't know.
Maybe water. Maybe sleep. Maybe something.
How many fingers am I holding up? Did you hit your head today?
Pick number 3, Milor. Pick number 3.
Pick number 3.
Even though he's holding up 2 fingers. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, all right. So Christian, here, you can help me with this one then, because there was another story that I couldn't decide if it belonged on the hot list or the not list.
I saw this. Yeah.
So, headline reads: An elite runner pooped down her leg 7 miles into a marathon, but kept going until the end, maintaining a personal record pace almost the whole way. Addie Zeriner.
I love how they name the person. That's so rude.
Pooped herself early in a marathon, keeping a sub 6-minute mile pace for 21 miles.
This deserves to go on the hot list because that is absolutely incredible.
The aftermath involved walking to the hotel. Why do they have to? Pantless, shoeless, and wrapped in foil blankets. Her candor about digestive issues on the run, which are common, inspired one man to take up running. That's what it says is the lead.
What are we doing here?
Of this story. She basically everyone at the hotel before this marathon it's like Airplane. Whoever ate the fish. They all ate like a seafood thing. Most of them got sick before the race. She said she felt fine. Decided to go out 6 miles in. Not so good. And just decided to let her rip. And just kept on running. Sprinting. To finish a marathon.
That's why I say this goes on the hot list, because if I poop my pants, if I poop my pants, I'm immediately like, the course, you're on the straight and narrow. I'm going right off to the nearest like Dunkin' Donuts and I'm throwing my underwear away. I don't know. It's just like there's no way I'd make it through. Well, let's be real. I don't make it through a marathon without pooping my pants.
Yeah,
Never mind.
It's an inevitability.
If I do poop my pants, yeah.
It's true. It belongs on the hot list. That is a steaming hot list. Colin says, "I poop, I stop." Yeah,
Amen to that.
I mean, listen. I mean, we hear stories about this. I mean, you hear athletes get asked, hey, if you're like a football player, if you're on the field, what do you do? You see like star players, receivers, quarterbacks, dip off the field real quick. You're like, oh, maybe they're having an equipment issue. Have to go back to the locker room. No, they got to do number 2. Whereas lineman just is right there.
There was years ago, Valerie Borchin was a professional race walker, and this is a little different. He passed out too, but he passed out and crapped his pants on the side of a race.
I mean, guys, you see guys throw up. I mean, that happens all the time in marathons.
Next week, we're going to do a top 5 poop stories.
Top 5 poop stories.
No, we're not. Just kidding.
Can look forward to that one. Hey, there's certainly enough of them. There's certainly enough
draft
of them. We could draft your top 5 poop stories. I'm also impressed. I mean, one, to be physically ill and maintain a sub 6-minute mile pace.
That's ridiculous.
I think you give me an hour to warm up, stretch out, have perfectly hydrated myself, and I've had a good day of nutrition and everything, and say just sprint a mile. I don't know if I could do sub 6.
No way.
And just the 1 mile, just for one, maintaining that pace for 21 miles.
No way. Yeah, clearly an athlete, because there's no way you could do that otherwise.
Oh, well, as the title says, elite runner.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
once you said pooped, I just
you heard the word poop and you just forgot everything else.
I just the headline just caught my eye. That's all.
All right. So before we get to our Christmas movie draft and then our picks after that, one other note from the NBA. Last week, Steph Curry passed Ray Allen for the most all-time three-pointers made, something once Steph really kind of truly burst onto the scene, winning a championship in 2015, and what he's done since then, you knew this was just inevitable. It was going to happen someday, and now it's a matter of, well, how much distance is he going to put between him and the next guy? Who I guess someday there'll be somebody who will break his record, whatever that record is.
Records were made to be broken.
They were made to be broken. I thought it was a cool scene. You had Reggie Miller on hand. You had Ray Allen on hand. You could tell the respect. Jesus Shuttlesworth himself. The respect that they all had for each other and that Steph had for them and trailblazing for them, just the way, Reggie Miller kind of had that same respect for Ray Allen because of the way he approached the game, and he was okay with him breaking his record. And Ray thought no one would touch his record. Well, the game changed. Teams averaged 5 3-pointers a game in 2011 when Ray Allen broke this record. Now teams average 27 a game or more, just attempting them. That's kind of
why I take Steph Curry and the record and kind of put them apart, because the record is impressive, don't get me wrong, but in this day and age, I don't think it's that impressive that he broke it the way he did, because he's shooting a ton of them. What's more impressive to me is the rate that he makes them. He's the best shooter I've ever seen. I mean, without a doubt. But it's just the record for me doesn't really do what he's doing justice, just because Ray Allen didn't shoot nearly as many threes as Steph Curry does, but also Steph Curry just makes every shot. So it's just, I still think it's really impressive, but it's just Steph Curry in itself, I feel is more impressive than the record, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, is this the last time where this record will be impressive? Will the next guy who breaks it, is it just volume? Yeah, dude, you took 50 threes a game. All you did was shoot threes, and you were allowed to just shoot 40 of them. It's like how Marcus Smart, if he plays in his entire career with the Celtics, will probably be their all-time leader in 3-point field goals.
Yeah.
And when Marcus Smart is not an impressive shooter, he's gotten better throughout his career, and when he doesn't take a whole lot of shots. I think he's effective as a shooter because, you take 8, you make 4, that's good. You take 20, you're probably only making 9 or 6. The more you take with him. But it's a volume stat. And the way guys take threes now and teams take threes, is this the last time that somebody getting this record will be impressive?
Probably. I mean, look, if someone comes and shoots better and makes more threes than Steph Curry, because like I said, he's the best shooter I've ever seen. He's a volume shooter, but he also just makes almost every shot, so his percentage is ridiculous too. So the next person that does that, are they just shooting way more than he did, and but their percentage is lower? Like how does it look? I just don't think. I think it's the amount of threes that you take ultimately, as opposed to, are you making them all? I mean, Steph is a different animal, but if Ray Allen was in the same day and age, would they be going neck and neck? Who knows? You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'd love to. Guys like Ray never got the chance to just be, hey, just bombs away, dude. Have at it. Because Ray, I think, is the more. He's just such a pure shooter. Steph makes them, and he makes them everywhere. I still think Ray's shot is prettier to look at. And I think he was the more complete player. Obviously, he's a bigger dude. Ray could play defense better than Steph can play defense, just because of size. They play a different position. And I think Ray's a little bit more of the complete player. Now, Steph, what he can do off the dribble with his shot is, I think, better than what Ray ever could. Ray was not necessarily, he's
a stop and pop.
He's a stop and pop. He's a come off the screen and catch and shoot type of guy. Steph can kind of do it all. He can come off screens. He can take you off the dribble.
I think it's how quickly he broke the record is more impressive to me than him actually breaking. I think everybody knew he was going to, but what is he, 31? 32? Yeah. So how 33 maybe?
Let's see.
I want to say he's 33, but
I wouldn't be surprised if he's 30. He is 33.
Yeah, either way. Still, considering where he came from as well, he's not like one of these guys that came out of college a number 1 pick. It's just ridiculous.
Now, what do you think, though? Hey, you talked about percentage. He's not the best shooter, three-point shooter, by percentage in the NBA.
Right.
It's his brother, Seth, who I don't think gets nearly enough love. I think Seth, if he played somewhere, now is it because he's taking less? If Seth Curry got to take 15 threes a game, would his percentage look worse? I don't know.
Good.
I know, but how? But you just said it's about percentage. So how do you ferret out?
I'm not saying it's totally about percentage. I'm just saying Steph Curry to me is like the full package on shooting. I just think he's the best shooter ever. So the record to me, it's not like I didn't expect it, or it's like the most amazing record broken never. I feel like we all knew it was going to happen. He's just remarkable at what he does.
Colin says Steph retires at 37. Marcus Smart is going to play till he's 48 and shatter the record on his last day.
Agreed.
Marcus Smart ain't lasting that long the way he throws his body around. So we'll have to see. I'll just bring it up quickly because I saw it happen. Did you see the ending to the Thunder Pelicans game last week? Did you happen to catch this?
I'll be honest, I don't watch a lot of Pelicans or Thunder. So
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander basically throws in like a half-court shot.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
With like a second and a half left, and the Thunder think they're going to win, and then the Pelicans inbound, and they hit a three-quarter court bank shot to win the game. It's the most unreal.
There you go. There's the three-point shot in a nutshell in this day and age.
You'll never you very ever rarely will see a sequence like that where you have two half-court shots in the midst. You hit a half-court shot at like a buzzer. You think, hey, we're winning this game. There's no way. Oh, he just hit a three-quarter court shot. Okay. Yeah. It was just a wild, crazy ending. That was almost going to be on my hot list if not for the guy who had. Both of them very lucky. You need a little bit of luck to hit two. To see back to back like almost half court, three-quarter court shots go in. But that luck is outdone by winning a lottery to go to a game and then winning $30K while you're leaving that game on a scratch ticket. So, all right, the moment you've all been waiting for, our Christmas movie draft. And Christian, We need to decide who's picking first here. We are snaking this draft. So first pick, then next person gets back-to-back picks. Big time. So I will let you call it. So you tell me what it's gonna be, and then I'll flip her.
Heads.
Heads. Matthew Slater. Heads.
We'll take the ball.
It is a heads.
I'll take the ball.
Do you want to defer your pick?
I'm going to take the ball.
You're gonna take the ball. So Christian is picking first. So with your first pick in the 360 Sports Show Christmas movie draft, you select.
Is it just any Christmas movie out there?
Yes. So
I know we didn't really come up with a list.
I'm deciding that the criteria is because some people I heard say, Christmas movies, but like Rudolph and Frosty, those aren't Christmas movies. They are animated short films. Like, okay.
And Die Hard's a Christmas movie to those same people. Great.
Yes. So I'm gonna say a movie that has Christmas as a character in the movie. So it can't just be like somebody brought up Harry Potter. Well, Christmas happens in Harry Potter. Harry Potter's a Christmas movie. No. It's a movie that's taking place over the course of a year. Of course, Christmas is going to be in there.
I brought that up, and I disagree with you right now.
Harry Potter is not a Christmas movie. Christmas is not a character.
It's a wintertime movie. Put it that way.
No, it's not. They have
yes,
fine. There's plenty of springtime.
You're wrong.
Professor Lupin became a werewolf again during final exam. During what was it? Owls. Their final exam week is springtime. Springtime.
Harry Potter's a wintertime movie.
No, it's not.
One of them is.
They have Christmas happens. All right, fine. You know what, Christian? If you're gonna have a bee in your bonnet over Harry Potter, I'll allow you to pick Harry Potter.
No,
if
I'm
that's
not today. I'm just saying. I think
really...
Harry Potter. There's some wintry mix in those Harry Potter movies.
Fine.
Anyway,
Well, you know what? As we go here, if there's any debate, we can bring forth. You just have to have your complaint. If you want to challenge the validity of a Christmas movie, you just have to have your complaint written and signed by at least 2 senators in order to bring that complaint to the floor. How about that?
All right, deal. All right.
Going first. Your pick.
I'm gonna take Home Alone.
Ooh, good one. So Home Alone off the board. My pick. Oh, I am going to go with my first pick. I'm going to take Santa Claus.
Like Santa Claus as a person, or the Santa Claus the movie?
The Santa Claus the movie, the original, the first one.
Okay.
The first one
with Tim Allen.
With Tim Allen, yes, the Santa Claus. And then, by nature of our snake, I pick again, and I am going to go with the original, OG, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The original animated one, not the new animated one.
Lame one.
Go ahead.
You're lame. I knew you were gonna pick that. You're lame. I'm gonna go with. This is a tough choice. We're snaking our way through here. Maybe I should have deferred. I don't know. I have one of 2 choices here. Dead air time. do 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 do.
Grab my pen.
I'm gonna go with Elf.
Oh, I knew you were gonna do that. So
I had 1 of 2 picks. I went with my gut.
Elf. All right, and you get to repeat there, sir.
Oh, a little snake draft, eh? And now I just forgot the other one that I had in my mind. Oh, of course. I'm going to say Jim Carrey, the Grinch. I forget if it's the Grinch Stole Christmas, but
Jim Carrey Grinch. That's all you need to say.
There we go. Jim Carrey Grinch.
A word on Elf. I mean, when I first saw Elf, I absolutely loved it. The more I watch it, the more it I just can't I just can't take Will Ferrell. I think I don't know why. The more I watch the movie, the like less I like it, and I almost like don't want to watch it now because I don't want to hate it because I did really like that movie and I do like it. But I just feel like there's some people who could watch that over and over and over and over and over again, like during Christmas time. Like every day they'll watch Elf, or once a week they'll watch Elf.
No, no, no.
I can't. You can't do that. I feel like
You
you
gotta
couldn't do.
spread them out.
I feel like you couldn't do that with any Will Ferrell movie.
No, you can't. See, that's the thing about Christmas movies. Like Katie and I are doing like you got to do a marathon, man. You got to hit all the Christmas movies. That's kind of the deal. You can't watch one.
All right, so Elf off the board along with Jim Carrey's The Grinch. All right, third pick. Only because I'm afraid of you taking it out from under me, I'm going Die Hard.
Oh yeah, I was gonna pick that one.
You would. I feel like you would. You would take it right out from under me.
I wouldn't pick that movie if it slapped me in the face. It's not a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas movie.
Google says it's a Christmas movie.
Google
knows all.
Classic person to say it's a Christmas movie because it's just so you.
Yep.
It's like Kashi's top 5 cereal, and we have to say, friggin' Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
They both, yeah, those things are both correct.
Yeah, you're wrong.
All right. So, my next one then, I will take the Muppet Christmas Carol. Absolutely fantastic film. And I saw a meme today. It was, it showed, Michael Caine plays Scrooge, and it's like, hey, this is a Muppet movie, so it's, you can just kind of have fun with it. You can enjoy yourself, and it's like Michael Caine plays it as serious as a car accident. Michael Caine in A Muppet Christmas Carol.
So what are we doing? 5 each? Is that the deal?
5 each, sir. So you have got 2 more picks here, back to backers.
And then what do you got? 1?
And then I got 1.
All right. This is where it gets tough.
This is where we start dipping into Hallmark movies, bad Netflix Christmas movies, children's Christmas movies. Have you seen The Trash Truck, Christian?
No.
I recommend The Trash Truck.
I'll get right on that after this show. I'm gonna say A Christmas Story.
Good one.
And Bad Santa, because let's go against the grain a little bit.
All right, A Christmas Story and Bad Santa to round
Even
them out.
that movie is so bad it's good. I love it.
Well, in that vein, I mean, it's not so bad that it's good, but it is a bizarre flick. But is near and dear to my heart. With my 5th pick and final pick of this draft, I am taking Ernest Saves Christmas. I have to watch that movie every single year because it just Ernest P. Worrell.
Never seen it.
Never. You owe it to yourself to watch it at least once. You do.
I can't do it.
You do. It's like 70 minutes. It's
so
so
it's
short.
got like a 5 out of 10 rating, and it's like.
Yeah, you just said the other one's so bad it's good. Give it a try. Give it a try.
Yeah, but at least Bad Santa's like kind of known.
Give it a try. Sit down. I'll get you some more kashi. You can sit down and watch Ernest Saves Christmas.
No. There's not enough time before Christmas that I have time to watch it.
Okay.
I have to watch the other Christmas movies that are actually good.
Okay. Every single Christmas movie I'm sure that you have potted up on Netflix is just a banger. Absolutely great.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting through them right now.
Some other ones I saw that we've watched that were actually kind of good. I mean, Christmas Chronicles. I enjoyed that one with Kurt Russell as Santa, and then also what was it called? Like School Heist or something like that. It's got Danny Glover in it. He plays a janitor. Like these people are trying to rob a high school in a blizzard, and there's like a little. It's basically like Home Alone in a school. There's like a kid who was like his parents haven't come to pick her up after school, and so she protects the school. What was it called? Man,
Can't you just watch the classics for a year?
I do watch the classics, but
Okay.
I'm trying. You gotta you can't. You just stuck in a loop. Just gonna always just watch the same old thing.
Yes.
Try nothing new.
Yes.
Branch out,
Exactly
Christian.
what I'm gonna do.
Life is short. You have to try and enjoy
No, life
yourself.
is short. You have to enjoy the things that you enjoy. There's my quote of the day. I don't need to say anything else.
Where? Oh man, it's not even in his filmography. It must be was it a TV? Christmas Break-In. That's what it was called. Television movie. It doesn't even have a link to click on in Wikipedia.
That's all you need to know right there. That's why I don't branch out.
Oh, goodness. So, there we go. So, Christian's 5 Christmas movies: Home Alone, Elf, The Jim Carrey Grinch, A Christmas Story, and Bad Santa. I went Santa Claus, the OG original, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, Die Hard, Muppet Christmas Carol, and Ernest Saves Christmas.
I would argue that 3 of your 5 picks were good, but outside of that, I think I beat you. Like, it's not even close.
I don't know. Hey, comment section. Speak up here. Let me know what you think. Who had the better Christmas movie draft?
The comment section right now consists of Colin, who's obviously going to agree with you.
Not necessarily. Colin, let's see. He threw his in here.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with his first pick.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. Yeah.
Muppet Christmas Carol with his imaginary second pick. He says you have to limit Elf to once to twice a year
100%.
at least, or it loses its magic. It's like there's some movies like that. It's like watching The Hangover. Like the first time you saw the movie The Hangover,
Sure.
The funniest thing you've ever seen. You watch it like twice, 3 times, 4
Isn't
times.
that anything though?
No, there's some things that I think if you watch them once a year, it's enjoyable. I think you could do Elf once a year and it still kind of holds up. There's some things once you see them once, you're like, well, that was great. That was a once. That's it. Once you do it once. He also said Jingle All the Way with his imaginary 3rd round pick. Charlie Brown Christmas. That's a good one. Good one as well. And then with his imaginary 5th round pick, he takes Home Alone 2.
That's also a good one.
Lost in New York.
We just watched that one.
I also was astonished to see when you go on Netflix and look for Home Alone, there's like 6 Home Alone movies now.
Yeah,
which I think is despicable.
We only count the first 2.
This is only the 3rd one is like it's okay. I've seen it once and I thought I found it.
Home Alone 2?
No, Home Alone 3.
Oh, 3? No, not good.
I found it to be okay. Now, granted, I saw it when I was 13. I'm sure if I watched it again now, I'd be like, this is awful.
I hate to break it to you, but time has passed since you were 13, sir.
Quite a bit of time. We won't count the years. There's no need to do that. But the other ones, I hashtag not my Home Alone. He says Elf is also on its 16th year, so it's been around for a while. Wow, 16 years.
Crazy.
Holy
you just look at
cow.
Will Ferrell, though. He looks like a young buck in that movie.
Yeah. And he says, I'm going to give this to Christian, only by a smidgen. Both very good drafts. So,
except for Harold's sleigh ride or whatever you put in there.
Ernest Saves Christmas. Put
Ernest
some
Saves
respect.
Christmas.
Ernest P. Worrell. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah. I have no respect for Mr. Ernest.
Oh, come on. I'll send you. I think it's Christian. It's one of those like it's on YouTube. You could just go watch it on YouTube.
Nope.
That's how you know. The late great Jim Varney. It's worth the watch. So, anywho, that brings us to week 16 in the NFL to round things out here on our holiday special. Games going on right now here on a Tuesday. So we'll just check in on those quickly. The Rams, much to my chagrin, because I need Cooper Kupp to have a big night tonight in fantasy, still leading 3-0 late first half over Seattle. The Washington football team up 10-3 on the Philadelphia Eagles midway through the second quarter.
Exciting stuff.
So that Washington game means something because I took the team and you took the Eagles. So right now I took 1 point on you on I'm up 1 point on you so far this week. You picked Indy. I had Detroit, baby. And then I had Minnesota last night. You had picked Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
You were feeling generous. So
It's the Christmas season.
we this Washington game will mean something towards our final standings this week. But let's go ahead and flash forward to ye old week 16 in the NFL. Christian,
Crazy times.
take it away.
49ers at Titans.
Man, two teams in very similar straits, needing wins. So this is basically probably going to be the season for either of these teams, right?
Yeah.
Are they both 7-7?
San Francisco is. God, I can't talk tonight. Oh my God, get me out of here. San Fran's 8-6.
San Fran's 8-6. What are the Titans now? What's their record? Oh, they're still
Oh,
first.
they're still pretty good. They're 9-5. Yeah.
They're 9-5. Okay. So I mean, Titans are in okay position. I mean, the Colts are a game behind them, but yeah, I mean, make or break, I think, for San Fran, just because of how many other teams there are that have good records in the NFC that they're going to be fighting with. So, in Tennessee, oof, boy, I've struggled picking the Niners this year, and they've come through with some big ones. You know, they needed overtime with Cincy. You're not playing the Falcons this week. I got to pick Tennessee at home, finding a way. Team's been finding a way. I mean, they couldn't find a way last week against Pittsburgh. That was a little alarming, but I think the luck runs out for Jimmy G here. So,
San Fran, Jimmy G all the way. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Run it back. Cleveland at Green Bay.
Ugh, yikes. I give the Browns credit for fighting last night, but they're not going to go into Lambeau and win. So,
yeah, agreed. That's Green Bay all the way. Indy at Arizona.
Woo! Colts coming off essentially their Super Bowl, the way they've celebrated that win over the Patriots.
They're gonna put up a banner. You hear that?
Yeah. Beat the Patriots for the first time in 11 years. Indy at Carolina. At Arizona. Arizona's got to bounce back. At home, I mean, losing to the Lions, that's got to be a wake-up call. No matter the problems, you know, if you could say anything that, you know, what for the Cardinals, that was the Patriots Colts game. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. I know they're missing. I mean, I know Hopkins is out now for the rest of the year, but they've got enough pieces there to be able to beat this Indy team at home. So
they're fraudulent. That's
a major red flag, though. If they lose this game, especially the way you lost to the Lions, they go from being a team that I thought was one of the better teams in the NFC, you know, probably going to make a Super Bowl, to now I don't know. But that's kind of everybody. The Packers are the only team that's coming on strong. So
yeah. I hate doing this because of the quarterback, but I'm going to pick Indy because I feel like they need to have it in order to get in the playoffs. They have more riding on this than Arizona. They got to be desperate here. I cannot stand Carson Wentz. I think he sucks, but the running back's pretty good over there. So yeah. I'll go Indy. I'm feeling in the giving mood.
Hey, it's close. I don't feel comfortable picking Arizona because I kind of don't know where they are right now mentally as a team. But next,
Detroit. Your Detroit Lions at the Falcons.
I'll let you go first, Christian. You've been all up on Dan Campbell. You picking him this week?
Yep, this is the week. I'm going with the Lions.
For real. I can mark this down.
Yeah,
Detroit.
You can mark it. I'm going Detroit.
Detroit. It was great for them to win last week, but I'm picking Atlanta at home. I
have a feeling the Lions are going to lose like 42-0.
I can't see the Lions winning back-to-back games. I just can't. If they do, I'll kind of wonder what their thought process is here, because they're playing themselves out of the first overall pick. Which I know it's like, listen, you're trying to build the culture and all this other stuff, but if you're going to have a terrible year, just have the worst year and get that first pick and trade Jared Goff for like a 5th rounder, have your cap, draft or sell the first pick to get other stuff, and now you build your team. Winding up with like the 5th or 6th pick.
I hate to break it to you, the
doesn't
players
help.
on the field don't give a crap about the number 1 pick. They want to win a game.
I know. I just thought Dan Campbell was going to be a tank commander, and I don't know. So anyway, I'm picking Atlanta.
True. He's a train conductor. Train's rolling. Baltimore at Cincy.
That's going to be my new Photoshop for this week. Is Dan Campbell conducting the train with Christian Whee on the back of it.
Yeah.
Riding on the caboose. Sorry. Next game.
Yeah, don't do that ever again. Baltimore at Cincinnati.
Man. Bengals, because clearly John Harbaugh is not interested in winning games. So, Cincy.
Who's that? John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh.
I'm gonna go the same. I think Cincy wins that game.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. Coaching is one of the most important. I mean, coaching means so much in the NFL, and you have a coach that's almost borderline actively trying to lose and not doing what I think is in the best interest of the team winning games. I can't pick that coach, especially with their injuries, too. You'd think the way they were banged up, you'd say, and the way you were down, man, tie this game up. We've got momentum. We can get a stop in overtime. We can win this game. Nah, let's just now boil this game down to one play when we don't have to. Okay. All right. Good for you.
Yeah.
Next.
Los Angeles Rams at Minnesota.
I am not impressed by the Vikings. I mean, they won last night, but if they weren't playing a Bears team that just was so inept with penalties and turnovers and bad plays, they would have lost. If they were playing a competent team last night, they would have lost. And the Rams are more than a competent team, so I'm picking the Rams.
The Rams offense is kind of like going by the wayside, even though I think Cooper Kupp is having like MVP caliber year. Their defense is still good, so I'm going Rams as well.
Yeah.
Buffalo at the Patriots.
I think that if you can run on a team 47 times when the other team knows you're running it and loads a box, and the Bills refuse to sub out of nickel defense, even when they're getting absolutely steamrolled in a windstorm, it's hard for me to see that sort of disparity in mismatch and then just pick that team.
It was the weather.
Yeah, but what does the weather have anything to do with you? It's not like it was mud and, they couldn't get off. I mean, the Bills refused to go with any bigger guys. They play they play nickel and dime more than any other team in the league on defense. And they got run over for it. Now, granted, you do that type of game, and you're going to keep it close no matter what. So you're going to have a chance to lose that game as much as doing it that way has an ability to win the game. I just think the Patriots are going to be able to be as balanced as they want, and they'll have the whole playbook at their disposal. And they're at home, and granted, the Bills are going to throw the heck out of the ball, and so the pass rush better get there because I've said right along, I believe this secondary is suspect outside of J.C. Jackson. But I just think with the way the Patriots ran the ball last time and just bullied the Bills, I think you're going to be able to be super balanced and just make plays. So I'm taking New England.
I like the Patriots in this game.
But
Bill has it today. He's gonna have it this week. No, I think. Look, I think they're at home. I don't love the offense, but I think if you're asking Josh Allen to just go single-handedly beat the Patriots, I don't know if he can. I don't know if he's able to do that. So, and the Patriots also have to win this game, and I think they'll come out ready. So I hope Patriots.
All right.
I regret it already. Jacksonville. This might be the game of the year. Jacksonville at the Jets.
Woo! A Jaguar versus a plane.
For the first time in history, I'm going to pick the Jets.
Are you really?
I'm going to pick the Jets, yeah.
I think I'm going to roll with Jacksonville. Only because they have the better quarterback. And this is a horrible, horrible matchup. I think I'd be interested to see, well, how did Jacksonville do this? I didn't even pay attention to what Jacksonville did over the weekend? They played Houston, right? Yeah, they got steamrolled by the Texans, 30-16. Ugh, man, I don't know. This is a tough one. I'll make it interesting. I'll take Jacksonville just because you're actually taking the Jets. But yikes, what an ugly. The suck sauce is drizzled all over that game.
Some special Christmas suck sauces in that one, no doubt. New York Giants at Philly. A giant absolutely squeezes the life out of an eagle.
Just picturing an eagle. Ah! The eyes just popping, bulging out. Yeah, I mean, the Giants, their season's done. They've lost 3 in a row. They shut Daniel Jones down. Eagles 6-7, heading towards 6-8. You said it's in Philly.
Yeah.
Do the Eagles have an outside chance if they win this tonight of making the playoffs? Are they like in the hunt? They have to be, right?
Maybe in that division. Yeah, that division stinks.
Oh, I mean, the Cowboys are 10-4. Cowboys are winning that division.
Oh, true. I forgot the Cowboys. Oh, yeah.
Let me see. NFL standings playoffs.
Probably not then, I would think.
NFL 2021 playoff picture.
They're kind of close, yeah. Saints, Vikings.
I just want to.
They could get there potentially.
All right.
It would take them winning out and other teams losing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, I think if they lose tonight, that may do it because they'll have to catch Washington. They'll have to surpass Washington because Washington will have a tiebreaker with them. So, right. I have a feeling like they're gonna lose this game tonight because they're losing right now. They're down. They're down 10-3.
Go from the 4 though.
I gotta see if they score. I have to haggle here. I have to filibuster. I have to kill time.
You gotta
here.
just pick it. You gotta pick.
I'm picking the Giants because Eagles are losing tonight, and they're just gonna let go of the rope. Giants.
I'll be honest. That was your weirdest analysis of all time. Basically, the first 5 to 10 seconds of that was the Giants suck below. They cannot beat anybody, and then you said, "I'm picking the Giants."
But then I look at the circumstances. You know what? The Eagles will be clinging to life, and the Giants will be up for like you said, choking the life out of the Eagle.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles. They have more to play for or something to play for, right? Both teams suck. Tampa at Carolina.
Man. Tom Brady can't beat bad teams. But after having one of his worst games in the last
15, 20 years?
15, 20 years? One of his worst games ever? They could have bounced back.
There's absolutely no way Tom Brady's losing to Cam Newton. I refuse.
Especially given the fact, I get it, all the injuries, and you'd think in a game they'd still be able to adjust. No matter what, I think you could roll out 5 guys off the street. You give Tom Brady a week to work with them and come up with a game plan to go out and beat a team. They're gonna find a way to beat a bad team. I gotta imagine. So I can't. And like you said, I can't. As great as it would be to see Cam Newton go and outduel Tom Brady, it ain't gonna happen.
No shot. Tampa. Los Angeles Chargers at Houston. I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Yeah, that run requires not much analysis. They should steamroll the Texans, as long as they know when to and when not to kick field goals and go for it. So.
Chicago at Seattle.
Seattle only because they're at home, and Russell Wilson.
Agreed.
That's it. Horrible game though. Is that a night? Is that a primetime game?
No, 4:05.
Oh, thank God.
Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Could be a potentially big game here.
Kansas City remains my favorite to get out of the AFC. Just because of the way they're playing. They're finding ways to win. They're winning shootouts. They're winning slugfests.
They got some COVID issues, though.
They do, but, I mean, unless Pat Mahomes isn't playing, I'm picking the Chiefs. In every game from here to the end of the year, I'll be picking the Chiefs.
I'm ready to throw away my season. I'm going Steelers.
Really?
They muck up every game.
They do in Kansas City though. What's
no Kelsey, no Tyreek Hill. I don't know.
And Pat Mahomes is gonna go off.
Probably, but this isn't the Chiefs of
last
year.
Is Josh Gordon playing?
Yeah, maybe.
Eagles scored.
There you go.
I want to change my pick. No, I'm kidding. So is that the night game? Sunday night game? Pitt KC?
No, that is 4:25.
Wow, that's a 4:00 game. Woo-wee. All right.
We have one more 4:25. Denver at Las Vegas.
Denver.
Denver.
Vegas plays ugly too, and they should not have won against the Browns. So I'm picking Denver.
And finally, 8:20, Washington against Dallas.
Did you take Denver, by the way? I kind of didn't hear.
Yes.
All right. Washington at the Cowboys. I have no faith in Dallas. I should have more, but I don't. At home, though, I guess I got to take them. I don't like it. I don't know why. Washington just plays everybody tough. So with teams that I don't have faith in, you just
love a football team.
I just love a football team, you know? I'll take Dallas at home. I mean, better quarterback at home, but they don't have the coaching advantage. Washington has the coaching advantage. I think Rivera's a really good coach. And Mike McCarthy, I think, is, I don't know, kind of just a guy in a headset. But Dallas.
Kind of like us right now. I'm going to pick Dallas as well.
Yeah, at least we're self-aware, Christian.
That's true.
Next.
Miami at New Orleans. Yeah.
This is the Monday night game?
Yes, it is.
Good Lord. I'm going to pick the Dolphins. They've been coming on. I mean, I really don't want them to win. I don't want them to have something to play for that last week of the season. This has been a great day. This is what happened. It's Tuesdays. I can't talk. That last week of the season, I don't want the Patriots to have to win in Miami if it means something about getting into the playoffs. So I need the Dolphins to lose some games, but not this week. I just don't see a team that doesn't have a quarterback. I didn't see them beating the Bucks. I don't know. I just have
Dolphins.
I got a feeling about Miami, but some of these are just so dreadful.
Hey, that could be a pretty good game. You don't know.
It could. I don't know. How did Monday nights, though, just get stuck with all the bad games? I feel like every Monday night game. I mean, some of the games turn out good, but the matchups are just not compelling at all.
They just loaded them up down the stretch.
Ugh, God. And I would take a peek, but we would spoil next week's episode. So, just so you know, tonight's results not yet in the books. Currently, Christian, you maintain a 4-point lead, 126 to 122.
I just threw it all away this week.
You may have given back all of that.
Yeah, after last year's showing, I need to give you the whole season. Why not?
Yeah. So, that is gonna do it for the show. So Christian, what are your Christmas plans? What is your ideal Christmas gonna be here?
My reality or my ideal Christmas?
Give me both. Give me the ideal and then the reality.
My ideal Christmas is alone in a dark room with gifts around me. And what's actually happening is we're gonna have some family over. Which all joking aside, that is my ideal. Just have my parents and in-laws, and we'll do something small and Christmas dinner.
And then later turn the lights off and open Christmas gifts.
Pretty much, yep, by myself.
Yeah, I mean, I always hope for snow. I want it to be cold. I want it to be, wake up. It doesn't need to be a blizzard, a little white Christmas. Unfortunately, we are not going to get that. It's going to be freezing rain. which just puts you in the holiday mood. So
Yeah,
I'm
I saw something
disappointed.
today that said there was a 0 to 25% chance of a white Christmas. So really pulling the odds there, weather people. Yeah, great.
That's zero to 25% chance. So even that's a percentage of a chance.
Percentage of a chance, exactly right.
So you're saying there's a chance. So unfortunately, no white Christmas. So that's a bummer. But like you, spending it with family. So much like Thanksgiving, I hope to be full, both with
Fat and happy. That's how we do it.
fat and happy, the warmth of family and of food in my belly. So, sir, I hope you have a happy, healthy, and safe Christmas holidays.
Same to you.
And we'll have to catch up on Monday with whatever gifts little Christian got.
By myself.
By yourself.
In my room.
Yeah. Well, you could hop on TikTok and
under my dead Christmas tree.
open up some gifts on the TikTok. How about we'll do that?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So, anyways, that is going to do it for the show, folks. Thank you for tuning in with us here tonight. A special Tuesday edition of the show. Merry Christmas from Colin. Merry Christmas to you as well, Colin. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening and joining us here on the live stream. If you didn't catch it, you can subscribe to any of our channels to watch it again or take it to go as a podcast through Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcast from. Yes, Colin, the Celtics still suck. That's why we didn't talk about them this week. So we will talk some more Celtics next week. Hopefully they play Christmas Day. But in the meantime, wishing everyone a happy, healthy, safe Christmas. And we will see you all on Monday.
Merry Christmas, people.